Yo, what's good guys, Mario coming through to you from Nintendo Network, and I know I've not been around for a while, but that's because of a few things that were out of my control. One, we've just not been getting much sneaks, there's not been much for me to talk about, and I've just been a bit busy with college and shit. But hey, your boy's finally back now because this morning we got a bunch of new sneaks, and it seems like we're going to be getting a lot more over the next coming weeks. So if you want to keep up with RELL Seas, you want to keep up with all the news, I suggest you go to my channel, drop a sub, and whilst you're at it, you might as well go down to the description and see my Discord, my Twitter, my Insta, all of my socials, and maybe even my Twitch, because I might be streaming there soon. So now, regarding what all this info and news is about, it is entirely about CC, and if I'm being honest, this is probably the most confusing thing regarding RELL Seas, because it is constantly changing. However, CC is a bit harder to get into because there are limited spots and not everyone can play, but there's no need to worry because in this video I'll break down everything. I'm going to explain how you can get CC and how you will be able to play early. In addition to this, it's a completely separate mode, so the stuff from the main game and the stuff from CC aren't going to carry over. They're going to be two completely different things, and the overall just offers us a much more different way to play. Okay, so now regarding all the news that we just got about CC, and it is entirely about how you're going to be able to actually get into CC and play the game. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people are going to be kind of disappointed by this, simply because it does involve you spending a bit of money. But honestly, I feel like this is the best way, especially since CC is something that is taken much more serious compared to the actual main game and compared to early access, because CC and early access are two completely different things. But the way that it's going to be rolled out is through it being given to people who have been in the community for the longest amount of time. So if you've been subbed for a while, your chances of getting CC are going to be much higher than someone who hasn't been subbed for that long. And to go into even further detail about this, I'm going to be reading out the announcement that we received by RELL, because it basically just captures everything that you need to know. So in the announcement he says, throughout the months of June and July, we'll be reviewing our subscription logs to recognize and reward our most loyal supporters. We'll be putting together a list of long-time recurring subscribers based on how long you've been subscribed and whether you're currently subscribed during this period. Players on this list will be granted direct access to the closed community phase of RELL Seas as soon as we roll it out. As always, we thank you for your support as we continue to progress through the phases of development of RELL Seas. This list will be made on June the 1st, 2025. So that basically covers everything that I just said. It's going to be given out to those who have been in the community for the longest and those who have been subbing for the longest. And at the time we're currently recording this, the list is going to start getting made tomorrow. So yeah, if you've been subbed for a while, you're in the clear. However, because it is RELL Games, it can't be that simple. Of course it's not going to be that simple. So if you take a look at the Discord sub perks, you'll see that there's a lot more that goes into how you get picked for CC, and it also may involve your chances of getting picked. So now, as you can see on screen now, there is a list of different things that will depend on whether you get picked or not, and it's mostly things that can increase your chances of getting picked. For example, if you are a tester, either red or blue, you're going to get picked no matter what. In addition to this, RELL is going to have some picks and Margaret is going to have some picks. So for example, RELL Ray, RELL Nuke, you get the point. All the Margaret is going to have some picks. So now for the reward roll and event winner 3, I'm going to get back to that later on. I also want to get back to event winner 2 and 1 later on, because that's something that's also important. But now the ones that we've already covered is gold and silver. So now just to confirm once again, if you are a red tester, if you are a blue tester, if you are staff, if you get picked by the Margraves or RELL, who's the Liberator, and if you have the reward roll or event winner 3, you are guaranteed CC. So now, as you can see from this announcement, regarding silver and gold subs, your chances of getting into CC is heavily dependent on how long you've been subbed and how long your sub has been going on for. So now what I mean by that is that if you've been subbed for, say, I don't know, 10 months, your chances are pretty high of getting in. But if you subbed around 10 months ago and you only had it for 1 month, and say you got like an event winner 1, I feel like your chances of getting into CC are much less compared to the person who's been subbing for 10 months straight. Also, I would like to add, if you are a gold sub, you have priority over silver subs. So yeah, of course, take that into account. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is that I don't know if you remember a while ago, but we saw an announcement saying that there's going to be different waves of CC, and in wave 1, the maximum amount of people is going to be 300. So now we don't know if this is still the same thing, and I wouldn't be surprised if it did change, because a lot of things have changed since we got that announcement. But 300, I doubt it's going to decrease from that. I feel like for anything it's going to increase from the 300 to maybe like 400, but take that with a pinch of salt, because we've not heard anything about it since. But it's also important to remember that those 300 slots, a decent amount of them are probably already taken up by the testers, the staff, the people with reward roll, the people with event winner 3. So I wouldn't be surprised if like half of them 300 are already taken up. Okay, so something I didn't see whilst I was actually making this video is that there was a little bit more information that was released right beneath the little image we got that displays everything about like how you're going to get into CC, and I guess the hierarchy of what's going to determine your chance of getting picked. And as you can see here, at the right says, couple of notes, gold/silver rel is for anyone who has been subscribed at least once, whereas gold/silver support is referring to current subscribers. Access priorities represents the order in which players will get access CC, from top to bottom. Every player with reward, gold plus and silver will make it in, unless you are disqualified by management. Not every event winner will make it in. The selection will be made based on tier, activity, and time in the community, as mentioned above. The number of people that will get into CC is to be confirmed. Okay, so yeah, that just further goes to prove that what I said earlier about me not wanting to be too dead set on the 300 people thing is kind of reinforced there, because it's yet to be confirmed. That means that the 300 is changed. That's not inco anymore. Also, in addition to what gold plus and silver plus is, we don't properly know yet. I don't properly know yet, and I think a guess that I'm making is that gold plus and silver plus is for people who have been subscribed for a long ass time. So like a year plus, like 10 months plus, that's my guess. Okay, so you might be feeling like it's already too late to get into CC, and for the most part it is. I'm not gonna lie, for the most part it is. If you've not been a sub for a while and you've not been at least active in the community, you're kind of cooked. I'm not gonna lie to you. However, there is still a way you can get in, and the way you can do this is by it involves you still getting a sub. There's no free way of doing this, but if you sub once and then you win an event and you get event winner, you technically don't have to sub again. However, you do lose access to a lot of things. For example, you can't see the sub sneaks. You can't join sub events, which is something that you probably will need. You probably will want to be able to join sub events because they will help you get CC. So now, regarding the different tiers of event winner, if you are 1 or 2, you are not guaranteed for a CC. However, your chances do increase. So I don't know if these things are stackable, but I think they might be. Because if you look at what they say here, it says the selection amongst the event winners will be done based on factors including activity and time in the community. Okay, so yeah, that first bit kind of makes me believe that it is kind of stackable, because if you're like a 5-month subscriber, you're an event winner tier 1, your chances are decently high of getting into CC, I feel. Maybe not right away, but it is still pretty decently high, because 1, you're known in the community, and 2, there's evidence that you've been turning up to events. So as for guaranteeing yourself CC, it is doable, but it is a bit difficult, and the way you do this is through winning a major event. And so what a major event is that it's an event that happens once a month, and the winner of this event is either given event winner tier 3 or reward roll. And so now I'm not really too sure what the difference between these roles are. They both give you CC from what it says in this little announcement. But either way, if you get either of these, you're basically guaranteed CC, as long as you have a decent reputation in the community, because as it says there, they can deny you if you're kind of a prick. But for the most part, if you do get one of these roles, you're practically in the clear. Also, another thing I forgot to mention is that there's going to be a bi-weekly thing where it's almost like an activity check, where if you react to the message on time, or if you're one of the first few people to react to the message, then you'll get CC. As simple as that. So if you want to test your luck with that, then go ahead. I don't see the harm in trying. So yeah, if you can't get CC through being active, or you haven't been able to keep a subscription for a long time, then that's probably your best bet. Okay, so now regarding the release date of CC, I think I can make a pretty decent estimate, and I'm mostly basing this off the information we've gotten today. I don't really want to go off a lot of the stuff that we've gotten recently, because as we've seen, but purely based off the fact that the list is going to be made in June and July, I think it's fair to say that sometime during late summer, between September and August, or maybe even after that, maybe even falling into a bit of autumn, I think that's when we're going to see CC. And now I feel like autumn is like the latest time we'll see it. I feel like late summer is I feel like that's the right amount of time, simply over the fact I don't feel like they'll be announcing this now if CC was not near. So my prediction on when CC is actually going to happen, I'm saying late summer, around August or September. But yeah, that should practically summarize everything you need to know for CC. And if you have any more questions, feel free to drop a comment, or you can just contact me personally. My Discord is basically my name on here, it's Rick Maru. You can also probably find me in the Discord of the actual RELL games. So yeah, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask. And yeah, thanks for watching.